coming out. Praying for one other friend. She said she just parked. Everybody looks so lovely too tonight.
Oh.
It's hard being on this part. I think I'm gonna roll back to see.
For coming out tonight. Again, this is a fresh vibe, spoken word, or evening of spoken word. This is a fundraiser for our church, Empowering Word. I'm Pastor John Clayton. So I called on some really great people to assist me in an exquisite expression of the arts. We're asking that we all be respectful, because spoken word is not just someone getting up and reciting poetry. It can be someone getting up and sharing their testimony, sharing a victory. It's not always about rhyming and wowing the crowd. Just to give you a little bit of background, I'm a writer from Philadelphia. I've been writing since I've been knee-high to a bucket. Never thought it would get to the place that it's evolved as far as me performing poetry and then also getting published. When I was, doing the circuit as a poet, there was a lot of people that were saying, you're not going to cut it because nobody want to hear your kind of poetry. You just don't have that it factor. No, I'm going somewhere. The thing that I've learned is you got to be who God told you to be.
That's right. That's right.
It has nothing to do with the naysayers. You always going to have naysayers no matter what you're in. And I'm just thankful that I kept going and I had the supporters in my life to say, you can do it. Sometimes just showing up and supporting said person is just enough to give that person the will to continue to go forth. So this first piece that I'm going to get into, and I'll be doing a little stuff in between here before we open it up to the audience. Really quick, I was in a conversation with one of our members. Her name is Jeanette. She's more than a member to me. We also work together, and she's just a dear, dear friend.
Yes.
Someone that I love immensely. We were having one of our mini conversations about love, and she brought up the word, the verb, like being a verb. Oftentimes we overlook the doing. You know, it's a whole lot of saying, oh, I love you, you know. But when the rubber hits the road, what are we doing? So this piece was actually inspired from a conversation that I had with her. I want to get a drink of water so I don't get too dry.
You want to work when you talk? Or you don't work when you talk? Shame. He had an umbrella out.
The nature of my religion peeled all the way back. Went from brown to black to reality tax, inspired by all the talk. Because too often I was left with the slack from entertainers and clowns and acrobats with heartaches, traumatized, and wet dreams rooted in nouns. Promises of black tuxedos, houses with picket fences and gowns in all white. Vows tight, everything all right but the appetite, all emotion but no insight. How do we expect to get through the night wrong? How do we expect to get through the night wrong? The sun will come out tomorrow, but yesterday I was still struggling to belong. And it was in that moment that I realized that only verbs find true love. Only verbs find true love. You see, I too was busy trying to outrun the sun, and in comfort things got burned. The more I yearned, things got burned. The harder I loved, things got burned. And yea, though I walked through the valley of the shadow of death, I would no longer fear no human love, because it was time I learned how to love like the sun. Didn't always know I had to grow. Never looked at love this way, you know, like shining from the center, like beaming from the center. Accepting storms that disrupt, do not enter. Loving like the sun, i.e. surrender. No days off but on. No days off but on. Even when cloudy with chances of rain. Undercover like lovers on a Sunday morning. Easy when it's good. Greasy and hood. Humid like July. Funky and unbearable. Sweat rolling down my back to the crack when it's bad. Yet I'm glad, because when it's real, I'm still left with the shine. When it's real, I'm still left with the shine. How will we ever experience divine if all love is measured against is that thin line? How will we ever experience divine if all love is measured against is my way or the highway, chalking out individual freedom while worshiping that ego shrine? How will we ever experience divine if I don't see God when I see you? Consider the sun when it shines. Love like the sun. Thank you. That's how we starting off. So we fundraising, and I wanted to be the first to just to drop something for the church. And again, this is just an exquisite expression of word and passion and life. This next young lady that's getting ready to come up, her name is Sarita.
Hi, Sarita.
Let me just give you a little bit of background about her. She is, I don't even know if she knows. My older brother's first love. I've known her for over 30 years, and she would be one of the first people that just saw me when I was just in a really awkward, insecure place. And you know how sometimes you meet people and you don't know if they're going to be in your life forever. especially when your family member and the person don't work out. She bore my beautiful niece, who I love dearly also, and she has two other little young ladies that are just amazing. My two other bonus nieces. Yeah. She's educated, she's beautiful, she's a mother, she's a sister, she's a woman of God, and I just love her. We have intense conversations just about life, and I'm just honored that she said yes when I asked her to come and share whatever God laid on her to share to the room. So please clap your hands, stand up your feet for Serena.
So, King gave us a little insight that spoken word is vast, right? And so I am not a poet by any means. But I did write a short story, a narrative, when I was going through a storm. And so this is just a snippet of it, just so we could go along with the fresh vibe that we're doing tonight. So I couldn't find any music. But I mean, if you have something really soft, that's fine. Otherwise, I'll just read it. Okay. Little beams of sunlight stream through the slits of the blinds hanging from my bedroom windows. At first, and ever so gently, then with the full power of the sun warming the bedroom from a cold winter's night. I lie still, allowing the rays to kiss my face, first my cheeks, then my eyelids. The sun shines even brighter. My eyes remain closed, but I can see the illumination. I listen for a familiar sound, something that would signify that I'm still in the land of the living. Nothing. Bravely, I open my eyes, first a peep, then full vision. The corners of my mouth curl into a grin. They produce a praise. Thank you, Lord, as I see the comforts in my bedroom and realize I have lived to see another day. The night before was riddled with sickness, numerous runs to the bathroom as my body rejected the poison. I'm in medicine that was supposed to kill the cancer and save me. Yet as my body excreted sustenance until there was nothing left, I would adverse effect. My stomach muscles contracted, forcing a vomit that resembled liquid kryptonite. Could this be the end? My potentially last resting place? The last race to the bathroom left me weak and fatigued with nothing left to give the white porcelain god that I had worshipped. I mustered my last ounce of strength and returned to bed. Mortality was lurking in dark. I make it to bed, the cool sheets offer some comfort. I'm exhausted. Wrapped in a duvet, I close my eyes, wondering if I will see the dawn. It is the last night, it is the first time, that I truly realize that death is real and steadily approaches us all with each passing second. Cancer emerged in full splendor, dark and mysterious, confident in its ability to get what it wanted. It, Picasso, and I, its muse, have been selected for a masterpiece of destruction on a historical night when the ancestors kneeled in slave quarters watching and praying for freedom. Now commercialized with confetti, champagne, and all lang syne. It was December 31st, 2014, and I had just been diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer. The earth-shattering news came by way of a telephone call that I had been waiting for 2 long days. I spent that time numb and almost lifeless, anticipating the gut-wrenching results. I wasn't surprised that the news still had an impact on me. Sitting on the edge of my bed, feet dangling, my torso swayed a little in a hypnotic motion as I held the phone to my ear. The doctor's words became muffled as her voice began to mimic Charlie Brown's infamous teacher. Only snippets of the conversation, exactly. were audible. Chemotherapy, mastectomy, hair loss. When the doctor finished, I hung up not knowing much more than before she called. So I finished preparing for churches. I've done so many other New Year's Eves. However, the hope and the promise that are associated with the start of the new year seem to dwindle in the dusk of the night. My heart pounded in my chest out of desperation and despair. Once at church, I stood in the epic sanctuary, wooden cross suspended from the ceiling, with crimson carpets and matching cushioned pews. Mass choir in tune with blaring organ accompaniment and pastor ready to preach the new year in. My arms outstretched towards heaven, my eyes closed in the hope that the tears that careened down my face and met beneath my chin would be mistaken for the Spirit moving me. I asked the Lord to give me strength to face what 2015 would bring. In the coming days, my life began to play out before me with memories of my childhood. I see the pink azalea bushes in front of my house, the royal hue of the fallen blackberries left on the concrete from the berry tree that grew in my yard, the manicured lawns, the tree-lined streets of my neighborhood. My mind became fixated on a childhood friend whose mother died when we were young. When she finally shared her secret that her mommy was no longer here, my heart ached for her then. And now, decades later, I thought of my own children, and my heart ached for them now. The mere thought of leaving them behind threw me into a frenzy. My only escape from complete insanity were long drives in my car alone where I allowed myself to weep. I had always assumed that I would be present in their lives, helping them, caring for them, loving on them, sharing with them, but most importantly, y'all, physically and emotionally being there for them. Now all that seemed threatened. But raging and boiling inside of me was the courage and strength of a fierce lioness that waits in the hot Sahara bush, on constant watch for her prey, with the sole purpose of protecting and providing for her young. A war cry began to rumble in my gut until it produced sound of the loud war traveling on the hot desert breeze. Not on my watch. Not on my watch. Will my children want a hug and I not be there to give it? Not on my watch. Will they experience their first heartbreak and I not be there to comfort them? Not on my watch. Will someone else raise my children? Not on my watch. Will they be alone? Not on my watch. Will they be without their mother? Not on my watch. Not on my watch. Not on my watch. I had my moment and I cried the ugly cry. It was time to get in front of this diagnosis and win the battle. My children needed me. A few days after the initial call, I was contacted again by the doctor. I was an active participant in this conversation. I listened intently to every word the doctor spoke. When the doctor finally stopped speaking, I asked, is this cancer treatable? Is this cancer, not my cancer? Because it's not attached to me. This is just something that I'm going through. So is this cancer treatable? Her answer, oh yes. I have no doubt that you will be okay. There's about an 80% survival rate. This news lifted the weight of the world off my shoulder. And then I remembered that I prayed one morning in the shower with my fingertips on the lung while sprinkles of water covered my face. I called out to the Lord, calling him Jehovah Rapha, the God who heals, and asked that if it were in his will, that he healed me. So while the words came from the mouth of the doctor, my inner peace and hope were in the Lord. I knew that he was bigger than me, this diagnosis, and only he had the power to change the circumstances. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you a hope in the future. Y'all heard the promises? Yeah. Y'all ain't catching, y'all can come back tomorrow. Right. Jeremiah 29:11. From that day forward, I fully trusted in the Lord regarding the diagnosis and what was to come. I was no longer afraid, and I knew I wasn't going to die. As of May 22nd of this year, I have been in remission for 7 years. Thank you. So just real quickly, y'all, I just want to share what I got from that experience. So number one, in all things, give thanks and be grateful. Yes, even when you don't understand, even when it's painful, even when it hurts. Number two, when trials come, have your moment to deal with it in whatever way you may choose, but don't stay in that place if it's given negative connotations. Know that weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. And if not tomorrow, then the morning after, and the morning after that. Know that it's coming.
But
God is close to the brokenhearted.
Yes.
The battle is not yours, it's the Lord's. And keep your focus on Him, not on the circumstances, not the thing, not what's happening, but on Him. And He will surely give you the peace that surpasses all understanding. Lastly, discover how to be a blessing to someone else, even in tough times. My way of getting through was to serve, and I have been continuing to do that for the last 7 years. And just as of last month, I developed a nonprofit, Spirit Spoken, said stop sitting on your gifts. And so this nonprofit was developed to support survivors and those battling. It's called Cupcakes for Cancer Philadelphia Incorporated. If y'all could follow me on CC4C Philly on Instagram, and then the full name, Cupcakes for Cancer Philadelphia Incorporated on Facebook. Thank you.
She did that. I'm just thankful because she's in my life, and I'm glad that throughout the years, you never know how you're going to be blessed by somebody or what you're going to pour into them as well. So it's just awesome to be a part of her victory as well. You know, oftentimes, when we get in the trenches in our stuff, sometimes people walk away. And I'm just thankful that we have stayed and encouraged each other through the ups and downs. This next brother, again, another old friend, but still a new friend and a relevant friend. Met him, over 25 years ago. He's a singer, he's a poet, again, he's a man of God also. And I'm thankful that he agreed to come out and support tonight, given that we're still somewhat in the pandemic. I'm thankful that he put some of his concerns aside to come out and be a blessing. Again, he's an awesome performer, and I've been knowing him and supporting him throughout his career for years. His name is Benjamin, and he's coming to bless us now. Thank you.
welcome, Benjamin.
Welcome, Benjamin.
Hi, Benjamin. Good evening, everyone.
Good
Good evening.
Thank you, sir. Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm glad to be here. I honor God for this opportunity, the pastor of this house, and everyone assembled here today. I'm thankful to my good friend, my old friend, King, for inviting me out. The truth is, I thought he might beat me up if I didn't come. But I'm glad I'm here, and I'm so thankful for your sharing, ma'am, of your testimony and your story, and how encouraging it was to me. As King stated, I don't get out much. In the last couple of years, this is my first time being out doing anything in over 2 years. I hope it's all all right? But I'm glad to come out. This has been a very difficult year for me. And before I get into what I'm going to do, I need to do something for myself, being that this is the first time I'm out in over 2 years. February 24th, I lost one of my closest friends over the last 32 years of my life. And it shocked me. But within a week, I was peaceful. God had given me peace. And I felt like, okay, I'm going to keep going. I got this. I'm all right. Then on the morning of April 29th, I was waking up and told that my uncle, who lived less than 5 minutes away from me, had shot and killed himself. And that shook me to my core. Yeah. So I'm in a different space right now. I'm thankful unto God that I know the Word, I believe the Word, and I trust in the Word. And if you can give me a little help on the keys, if you don't mind. Only if you want to. I don't want to impose on anyone. But I need to do something for myself.
That's good.
Jesus, Jesus, how I trust you and how I prove you over and over. Jesus, Jesus, precious Jesus, and oh, for grace to trust you more. Ain't no need to worry what the night is gonna bring. It'll be all over in the morning. Ain't no need to worry what the night is gonna bring. Oh, it'll be all over in the morning. Oh, for Jesus, Jesus, how I trust you and how I prove you over and over. Jesus, precious Jesus, and oh, for grace to trust you more. Trying to get the cobwebs out of my life. I'm over 50 years old now. All right, we can go ahead and start the track. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. That.
This up, man.
Okay. All right, Ken.
That's Copper right here. That's right.
Giving honor to God, to the pastor, saints and Christ. We thank the Lord for being here and for bringing all of us safely over the highway. Pray for us in this day with us that the Lord might have his way. 'Cause I don't know what you have come to do, but I've come to praise the Lord. Oh, I don't know what you have come to do, but I have come to praise the Lord. For keeping me from danger, of sin and sin, and for continually bestowing new mercies on me. For about this life I have got a lot to learn, but this one thing I know for sure, his will I will obey. 'Cause I don't know what you have come to do, but I've come to praise the Lord. Oh, I don't know what you have come to do, but I have come to praise the Lord. I've come to clap my hands, I've come to pat my feet, I've come to jump for joy, I've come to make a joyful noise. I've come to clap my hands, I've come to pat my feet, I've come to jump for joy, I've come to make a joyful noise. Help me to clap my hands, help me to pat my feet, help me to jump for joy, help me to make a joyful noise. I don't know what you have come to do, but I've come to praise the Lord. Oh, I don't know what you have come to do, but I have come to praise the Lord. I've come to praise the Lord. I have come to praise the Lord. I have come to praise the Lord. I come to praise, to praise,
Philly to support me, or I was in Jersey and something that he was a part of. It's always been a constant lifting of each other, you know? And oftentimes, you know, we sometimes underestimate what we have to offer someone else. And sometimes it's just showing up and being in the audience to say, I'm here rooting for you. I may not have no money at the moment, right? But I have presence. I can come and I can be there fully, right? So, again, we keeping this thing moving. I'm loving the way this is going. I'm feeling good, right? Yes. So this next presenter, her name is Daisy, and she's in full bloom. I already had an opportunity to see her here at the church. She came and blessed us, and you know, I'm like, oh, she's a beautiful flower. And but again, I know tonight she's in full bloom. She came prepared to bless us again with another one of her exquisite expressions. And I'm thankful that she wanted to be a part of this. So without further hesitation, Daisy Miggins.
That's my auntie if y'all pay attention. How y'all doing? It feels so good in here tonight. Like, I don't know, y'all got me in my bag. I'm over there with the stumps and I'm doo-doo-doo in the corner. Your story was amazing. I feel so good to be here, so I'm honored to be here. I appreciate you all for having me. So yeah, earlier you were talking about spoken word and just how vast of a thing it is, and I'm gonna slap y'all with a couple of vast things if y'all don't mind. I'm gonna do this first poem in honor of Pride Month and just living in my true self and feeling good about myself and my life. And this poem was written when I didn't feel that good. Okay. Do you know what it feels like to be the ghost in the room? Try pretending. Embrace the fake you more than the you that you've pushed into your closet. Sit and listen to your aunts ask about boyfriends on Christmas. Slice off the S's and say he. Tell them how he makes you feel, how he will always love you, and pray that they can't see the transparent S's that you've let slip from your lips, because she is my world. But I've demoted her to Pluto, I've lied, and continue to act like I'm content with just one set of lips in my life. Be the ghost in the room. And accept random hetero hookups from your family because they don't want you lonely. They think that I'm lonely because the woman I love is hiding next to the real me in my closet. Conversations seem more claustrophobic than this clothing-covered cave I placed myself in. They ask me, how's my boyfriend? And I wish that they knew that they were saying it wrong. I've got so many lies stuffed in my mouth, I can't manage to touch teeth and say that she is my world, so I keep claiming that he is my everything. Stop asking me about kids. It's not that I don't want them, it's that if I continue to love the way I have been, I can't. So stop asking me about kids. Just know that if I could, I'd bring her baby to earth myself. Do you know what it feels like to stuff a woman in your pocket like a secret, but still tell her that you love her? Wow. To want to be married, but you can't unless your wedding ring is transparent or blends in with your skin, because then your family would ask too many questions, would want to meet him, would want to love him, and I don't even know him yet. I can count on one hand how many men I've kissed. I can count with one limb how many times I've liked it. With 3 sexual experiences, 1 rape and 2 mistakes, how do you expect me to love a man the right way? To be honest, I've been kissing girls since preschool. My first crush was a white brunette girl named Stacy who only loved me for my McDonald's toys. The amount, this is a true story, okay? The amount of women I've touched is greater than the number of men who have my cell phone number, and it's hard to continue wearing this mask when the love of my life just wishes that I would rip it off, and it's difficult to tell you that I'm single when I know that my heartbeat is pounding for 2. I love her. But somehow when you say, have you met love yet? I say, No, auntie, I don't have a boyfriend.
Wow.
So honestly, I was just going to do a poem at first, and they were like, "Oh, you got like 10 minutes, a couple minutes to play with. What you want to do?" I'm like, "Okay, let me say a couple more things." So I'm gonna, just do a song for you guys, and just a real quick explanation. Like I said, I wrote that poem when I was hurting, when I wasn't heard, when I didn't understand the way that my life could truly be and the happiness that I could find just being myself. And I made a comment in that poem. I said, "Stop asking me about kids. It's not that I don't want them. It's that if I continue to love the way I have been, I can't." We all know that is now not true. I was married at 21 years old, and I have a beautiful little son. His name is Davion. And this song is for him. So drop that, DJ. You got that? Like this song, all right. I might take this off. Yeah, let me start by saying I don't care what people say. You were two today, I knew that I would make a way. By any means to keep you fed and out of harm's way. Cause when it swings, it's like the bat across the home plate. My son, you are my angel and you are my shining light. The people call me queen, but son, you are my armor knight. The way you look at me, it drops the way that mama fights. I cried when you said mommy just because it felt right. Tonight I gotta go, son. Fight the tits for me, cause I told you I gotta show, son. I know that it's Christmas. I know that Santa's coming. I know it's Thanksgiving and that the clock is always running, but I do this for you. It's cause I adore you. Not on your side, I'm on the brain. I'm trying to ignore you. Please just hear me out. I promise we gon' make it out of this. I promise we gon' sit and laugh at those who doubted this. I promise every word I spit that you'll be proud of it. And let them hate them people fake their bills as counterfeit. I promise every word I spit that you'll be proud of it. And let them hate them people fake their bills as counterfeit. And I hate I gotta leave you, but how I'm finna feed you. Say it with me, residuals are synonym to lethal. The way I'm finna work is I know that you don't need to. I breathe you, I bleed you, just know I did this for our people. And one day we gon' be looking back, and we wouldn't even take it back, yeah. I gotta make it cause it hurts so bad. My family Cali, but they on my back. Now when you hear these words, I want you to imagine this. It's 4 a.m. on Thursday night, 5 hours, gotta sit and kill that 9 to 5 cause royalties ain't stacking yet. Now we ain't made it, but we will. How much you tryna bet? Just picture me open the clothes, selling the screen protector. My son at home, he fell asleep and didn't feel protected. What about when I hit the front line with a lethal weapon? He never saw me, but my blood was never up for question. I do this because I feel the power in this movement. Me give up, the universe won't even let me do it. I'll prove it. They say I can't and then they watch me do it. My music is poetry with more hill influence. You hear my son cry at night every time you hear my voice. You hear my wife saying, Daisy, you gotta make a choice. I speak in public for those who never got to make noise. I am a mom out here praying, protect my baby boy. Yeah. Thoughts in my head, what am I missing while chasing this bread? Do I buy wax for the track or put braids in my head? Teach my son feelings are stronger and spread. Thoughts in my head, what am I missing while chasing this bread? Do I buy wax for the track or put braids in my head? Teach my son feelings are stronger express. But how I'm finna feed you, say it with me, residuals are sending them to lethal. The way I'm finna work is so I know that you don't need to. I breathe you, I bleed you, just know I did this for our people. And one day we gon' be looking back, and we wouldn't even take it back, yeah. I gotta make it cause it hurts so bad. My family Cali, but they on my back, yeah. I gotta make it cause it hurts so bad. Family West and they on my back, yeah. I gotta make it cause it hurts so bad. My family East and they on my back, yeah. I gotta make it cause it hurts so bad. My family South and they on my back, yeah. I gotta make it cause it hurts so bad. My family North and they on my back, yeah. I gotta make it cause it hurts so bad. They overseas and they on my back, yeah. I gotta make it cause it hurts so bad. I gotta make it cause it hurts so bad. Make it cause it hurts so bad. Make it cause it hurts so bad. You know how to hum a little bit. All right, so this next song, I wrote this song for my people. You know, being black in America, boy. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, so y'all all know what I'm talking about. All right, you know, it's just, it's one of those things, for a long time it felt like a burden. I remember being a child and being ashamed of how dark my skin was. And I'm an adult and I lay out in the sun during the summer, you know what I'm saying? Trying not to get no tan lines because we tan too. You know? And I just felt like it was necessary to make a song that camaraderies my love for being black. So here we go. Let's drop it. Drop it. Yeah, see who gonna tell the black child? Turn it up a little bit for me. See who gonna tell the black child? I don't know. See who gonna tell the black child? Yeah. See who gonna tell the black child? The black and the berry, the sweet and the juice. To make a harvest plant to see from the fruit. We kings and queens, they were scared, now they hide the truth. But really they just wanna be like you. Cause you the bomb, baby. With your curly hair like a pom-pom, baby. You wanna see unbreakable, look at your mom, baby. Cause black mothers like no other, I ain't stutter. Sometimes I sit and I wonder, see who gon' tell a black child? You ain't wild, you an abstract art. You don't deserve to die for getting no bark. You don't deserve to get shot down for playing in parks. You don't deserve to feel deserving of it just cause you dark. You light, baby, and your light skin go crazy, no shade, but any shade. But my preference as a lady, black babies, you are amazing. Yeah, see black babies, you are amazing. They unique. I learned early on that was the name. Nobody outside of my culture would learn to say the same, and it's crazy. I'm so hesitant, just call me Daisy. Never question how they can say Zuckerberg and Patrick Swayze, man, that's called privilege. Say with me, kids, that's privilege. And now the way you feeling, they from somewhere privileged. I witnessed it, the moment told becomes an issue. Babies crying about this skin but can't pronounce tissue. And it's sickening, I'm here to tell you, baby, just listen. If you are dark, you're a star, you are nice guy, brilliant, you are everything that you are destined to be. You are a depiction of what greatness should be. We are the type of people who don't get it easy, the type of people who forgive too easy. But baby, just breathe, yeah, just breathe, baby. Now who gonna tell the black child? The black and the berry, the sweet and the juice. To make a harvest plant to see from the fruit. We kings and queens, they was scared, now they hide the truth. But really they just wanna be like you. Cause you the bomb, baby. With your curly hair like a pom-pom, baby. You wanna see unbreakable, look at your mom, baby. Cause black mothers like no other, I ain't stutter. Sometimes I sit and I wonder, see who gon' tell the black child? You ain't wild, you an abstract art. You don't deserve to die for getting no bark. You don't deserve to get shot down for playing in parks. You don't deserve to feel deserving of it just cause you're dark, you're light, baby. And your light skin go crazy, no shade, but any shade. But my preference has a lately, black babies, you are amazing. Yeah, see black babies, you are amazing. Stay with me now. You know we black and we proud, and we've been down for a while, but we gon' find a way out. So stay with me now. You know we black and we proud, and we've been down for a while, but we gon' find a way out. So say it. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Yes. My name is Daisy May. M-A-Y-T. I love y'all and I appreciate y'all for loving me. I'm gonna go get my wallet so I can drop something in here faster. Don't worry, let me go grab it.
Told you she'd be in full blown. So I'm about to do this last piece, and then I'm going to open it up to the audience for whoever wants to come and bless us also. But again, I want to acknowledge my friend Alexis for coming out. I love her. And my lioness, my Leos, known her forever. Way back. And I just wanted to give you just a little bit of background, and I hope that for those of you that are interested in supporting what we saw tonight, please contact the church. Again, this is a fundraising event tonight. If you don't have cash on you, you can cash app us at $Empowering. E-M like Mary, Powering. $Empowering. And this piece that I'm about to do is called I Don't Hate You No More. This is Father's Day weekend. And I thought it would be, I could not do this piece because it speaks to the thing that almost killed me, that almost took me out of here. It's part of my testimony. And when I finally found the courage to write, to actually get published, I'm like, God, you really didn't call me to do this because I don't have the help. No one really wants to read what I have to say. And when I finally got the nerve to send my work out and got the response that, wait, people were interested, now I'm like, how am I going to find somebody to help me review the contract? And lo and behold, my friend Troy Riddle, my ugly who I've known forever, he was already in law school. And I'm like, Troy, you're going to have to help me with this. I think I'm responsible for like maybe half his gray hair. not all of it. But he was so gracious to sit down with me and go over the contract with me line by line and answer all of my questions. And that actually showed me the other side of the gift. Because oftentimes, we know we're gifted and creative, but sometimes it's layers to it when you're walking it out that you need to be educated about, also depending on how far you want to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thankful for him because he's been such a support. He even opened his house for one of the spoken word meet and greets with me where people were able to come and sign the book and listen to me speak. Sarita also helped with the food and baked for me. So please support what you saw tonight. Again, Daisy Mays is an awesome poet. This is my second time having the privilege of seeing her. So please keep us posted on what you got going on. All right? I'm just drink a bit of water and then I'm gonna get this piece out the way and then we're opening up the mic to hear all the other good things. God help me with this one. Vacancy. I don't hate you anymore. A devil's distraction. I don't hate you. 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 Anymore. For sowing your seed. Why were you leaving? Why was my mother alone receiving and birthing and nurturing your harvest? I don't hate you no more for starring in the role of invisible man, for not even trying. I thought my smoke signals reached you and notified you that I was somewhere being abused by another man crying. Wished I was dying. When I learned the truth that you deliberately chose not to choose me, thought everyone was lying. I don't hate you no more for waiting with faith pressed against the screen door, thinking you and your Calvary will come for the little king and save me and teach me to be all that I repress deep down inside, things I never thought I'd be. I can't put living off no more. I can't put living off no more because I don't hate you no more for hiding from me. Although my heart breaks over 1 million natural revelations, it never fully recovered from the break. If only I could put these feelings to sleep and tomorrow forbid them to awake. I don't hate you no more for the lack of respect that makes this misfortune of life upon my shoulders. The world around me growing colder and these nights seem so long. You can be right because I've hated you for the majority of my life, so I too have been wrong. For the pains of my adult love due to impatience I willingly gave while the unworthy did nothing but take. I don't hate you no more for my choice to fly from one to another and another and another and another and another and another in hopes to make an everlasting bond which only left me drowning in a graceless lake. I don't hate you no more for being told I act just like you. I can't let you take credit. I won't let you take credit for only what God transformed within and allowed me to do. I don't hate you no more. My life was meant, regardless of the reckless experiment. I don't hate you no more for the lack of respect. For the lack of respect. Yesterday, I saw you in my dreams. I smiled inside. I waved. You didn't even notice me. I even paved a golden road of forgiveness that led directly to you. Still desperate for your company. Why? Still no reply. But I don't hate you no more. I don't hate you no more. I don't hate you no more. Thank you. So again, before we open the mic for those that are going to partake and bless us, we just want to have a quick break so we can snack, mingle, talk. And again, I want to thank Days Mays for blessing us tonight. We want to thank my friend Benjamin for coming from Jersey to bless us tonight. We want to thank Sarita for coming out and blessing us tonight. Yes. So again, our church is Empowering Word Ministries Incorporated. Our shepherd is Pastor John. Please come out and support us. We're here every Sunday at 11:30 if you're looking for a really great word and a move of the Spirit. So we just want to take a break, breathe a little bit, and then we're going to come back with the guests that want to bless us on the mic. Thank you. ready to open up the mic. We get ready to open up the mic. We got 5 people. Yes. It's contagious.
Go ahead, Sean.
Y'all slayed. Y'all really slayed in here today. Yes. So one of the guests that's coming, her name is Azure. Yeah, she's going to come up and bless us. I think she's still in the bathroom, so I'm going to ask Alexis to come on and do her thing, and then after Alexis, it's going to be Azure.
Yeah.
Let's give a round of applause for Alexis.
First off, I'm not a poet. I'm not a singer. But I am full of energy and I'm full of life.
Amen.
And I always believe that if I feel it, I should share it.
Absolutely.
So I want to first say, King is unconditional for me.
Yes.
I'm not going to say how many years we've been knowing each other because I don't know at this point. But from the moment I met him, I knew it was something about him. And we connected and we got close, and I can tell him anything. I've sat outside in the car for 4 hours crying with him over the phone. That's how close he is to me. So when I say being here is everything to me, it's everything. I don't come to Philly because there's too much going on down here. So and this is just my honesty, my truth.
Listen, you ain't
I'm
lying.
from New York. I lived in Philly all my life. So people say you from Philly because you've been here since you was 3. But I'm not from this Philly. Coming down here was everything for me, but I would never not be there for him in any capacity.
Absolutely.
So I want to say something about myself. I'm a twin, and I'm about to be 54 years old.
All right.
And
Yes.
yeah,
Amen.
Amen.
Yes.
I always lie about my age. And then I turned 50 and I said, you know what?
Do it.
She was that old, I got 50. And now she's volunteering. About to be 54. She might be 54. Because I want people to know that God is good and I'm still here and I'm shining my light from within on the outside. It's not about what I look like on the outside. It's everything inside is coming out on the outside, and that's who I am.
Amen.
And I lived my life in tunnel vision because I thought you're supposed to go to school, get married, have children. That's what you were taught. You know, when you were a young girl, you don't do this, you don't do that. And I had to realize that is not what it's all about. Maybe I wasn't supposed to get married. 4 kids later, I must have been supposed to have kids. So they have 4 children. But the best part of me is being a mother. The best part of me is being a friend. The best part of me is being a godmother. This beautiful, beautiful chocolate doll right there. I love her immensely. She's come so far. And I know she don't like me putting the spotlight on her, but if you know what I know and where she came from, I could cry right now for the person she is. I'm so proud of you. I just want to say, I had to learn to love myself. And I thought I did. And you know, it's a bad thing when you think you love yourself and then you sit down and I had an epiphany when I turned 50 on the edge of my bed and I realized I didn't love myself. But guess what? I got nothing but love for myself now. I love myself so much that people come to me like, oh, you really do love yourself. And guess what? I do. I'm not uncomfortable. I'm not afraid. I'm strong. And the beauty that I feel has nothing to do with what I look like. It has nothing to do with my complexion. It has nothing to do with hair. It has nothing to do with clothes. It has everything to do with who I am, and what I accept, and what God has given me. So I'm saying this to say that if you're in here and you're having problems, or you're thinking that maybe you're having a tough time, you can follow your path. You can walk in your purpose. It's never too late.
Never.
4 years ago, I found my purpose, and I've been walking in it ever since. And I will continue to walk in my purpose. I have my own business, and God is just blessing me. So you don't have to follow me, but I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, Mindset to Wellness, because if you don't have your mind right, you ain't well.
Right. Come on.
And I believe in positivity. I believe in bringing people up. I don't believe in putting people down. We all on the same level, no matter how tall we are. You could be 4 feet, I'm 5'11", we all on the same level. I love everyone in this room because that's who I am. I am love.
Come on.
So that's what I had to say.
She did.
I'm sorry I gotta run because the leader, 8 o'clock and I don't really at the dark. I'm gonna be very honest. But
Thank you, Alexis. I love you. You already know.
you know how I feel about you. And thank you for sharing. I would like to get your information and follow you because you have inspired me. And listen, I don't get moved that often.
So, we're going to keep this thing moving, and Azure is coming to bless Reminder. Give her a round of applause, everybody.
Alright, so I'm gonna tell y'all this. I teach first grade. However, that's about the most public speaking that I do.
Okay.
So everything that's in here is just like scraps, putting my thoughts on paper. I by no means Dante has really been pushing me to spread my light. So this piece that I wrote, it's not really in poetic form, but I was going through a really dark time, been through some crazy stuff growing up, and I'm 26 now, and I have finally been able to find my light and feel liberated, and really be able to accept God's love. And I've been doing myself a daggone disservice because I have not been accepting the full extent of God's love. So I wrote this piece, and it is just filled with darkness, right? Because I was filled with darkness. But it's like I woke up one morning and I finally allowed that light to seep in. So that's what this piece is called. Like I said, it's chicken scratch, but please be nice, y'all. The piece is called Glimpses of Light. Glimpses of Light. Okay. It says, inspiration to write, inspiration to breathe, inspiration to keep going and live my life at ease. How have I made it this far? How did I find the motivation to persevere? I've been in some dark tunnels with no light in sight, but somehow I was able to find the light. Those dark and frightening sights, those hard and sleepless nights, all that life has thrown at me, my thoughts. Is it worth the fight? Heartbreak, loss, sticky situations, but somehow I found a glimpse of light, an ounce of motivation. Picking myself off the floor, grasping and clawing for a way out until I reached a door. Nearing an exit, is it too good to be true? How will I know that this is something new? Is this a way out or a door opening to more sorrow? I sit in my darkness and I say, maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow I'll take a chance standing in front of that exit. If I could only get one glance, what waits for me on the other side? I have to try. I can't live in fear. As I tiptoe through this dark hallway, my hope grows and my pessimism disappears. There is a Gentle force and a nudge telling me to keep going. Crawl if you have to, but just keep going. My time in this darkness, I've seen glimpses of light, just too afraid to investigate, afraid that I might get let down again. I'd rather stay in the dark. But it's damp and suffocating down here. There must be something more. Okay, Azure, just focus on that door. What has been my inspiration to just keep going? It's been God and His Holy Spirit ever flowing. He is my reason why I haven't let go. Those glimpses of light is what He's shown. This is what you can have if you just believe. He's been the reason why I felt at ease. At ease in the darkness, at ease in the pain, at ease through my sorrows, at ease through the rain. Keep going, approach your exit, prepare yourself for what's next. This freedom and liberation is within your reach. Go ahead, push it open so you can see. I do the work to make it to the door. I turn the knob. What's in store? That one step of faith, the door opens wide. Light rushes in and illuminates what's inside. I can see, I can breathe, and the darkness is gone. His light casts out all that's been wrong. I've still got a journey and hurdles to surpass, some rocky roads, but walking with Him eases my load. Walking with Him helps me enjoy the present. Complete freedom, walking in His presence. I made it through that mysterious door, and now I trust that goodness is in store. When you're in the dark, don't ignore those glimpses of light. Trust in His time. Keep going. You are worth the fight.
After I had my automobile accident back in 2014, I thought God had given up on me. You know, it was just one of those, as Sarita said earlier, like, God, what is this? And I remember getting to a place where I was actually getting back to being mobile, and I was getting on the 15 bus because I said, okay, I don't have a car, but I gotta make my way to church. Broken, battered, disgusted with life. I'm gonna make my way to the church. And David had got on the bus, and he came to the back where I was sitting. He said, is anybody sitting here? In my mind, I'm like, please just go. It's bad enough I'm on this filthy bus. But I said no, and I affectionately call him Best. I hate the word best friend, but I call him Best because he represents so many great things in my life. And he saw me in a really broken and low place, and he said, I'm gonna be his friend. I don't know why, but I do know why, because I know it was God that brought our friendship together. But oftentimes we pass by the person that is in a low place, and we don't see them, and we all desire to be seen. And he sat down in that seat next to me on the bus, and it would spark such a great friendship, a brotherhood that no matter where he is, wherever God should have us, whether it's 5 states apart, or you know, he's over on the other half of the globe, on the other side of the globe. This man is just a special man, and I'm not just saying it because it sounds good to say. I do believe in giving people their flowers while they are here, and I know he knows, but I just wanted to say that because he is another one that put aside things to come and support this event, and I honor him from that. So he's going to get up and bless us.
Hi everybody.
Hey,
I just gotta say today's such a beautiful day. I've been saying this all day. It's a vibe. Like it's a vibe.
Yeah.
This poem I wrote last year because I realized that there's some walls that I need to break down to allow love in. And that has always been, I'm not gonna say the word struggle, it's been a work. It's been a work. And today when I came in, King asked me if I was prepared to read today. And I looked at him like, but then I realized I'll read something. And he told me the poem to read, which is this poem. So I started looking over the poem and realized that I had to update the language. And one word said I need to do something. And I had to turn the word need to want, because when you need to do something, there's no motivation behind it. But when you want to do something, there is motivation. You're ready for that outcome. You want the outcome. So then Sharita asked me to record her doing her speech and read her story. So she has like affirmations came up. And the affirmation came up and it said that I am attracting deep love. And that was confirmation to exactly what I'm working on with this thing called love. So this poem is called Love, the Solution. Rhythmic words with indistinguishable sounds of broken syllables form images of romantic illusions. It makes me wonder if true love is nothing more than a grand delusion. So internally I fight and fuss over the broken pieces of a puzzle that represents a shadowy picture of my damn confusion. Love was once a problem, but now I want it to be a solution. Poor loneliness was the cause of my constant need to correct all my imperfection. Because life teaches that physical, mental, and financial perfection are the keys to intimate connection. But the road to perfection is nothing but a mere deflection of my own disconnection. In reality, I yearned for affection. And deep down inside, I wanted attention, but anger and fear kept me from being a selection. Even worse, inner talk reminded me of constant rejection. Thus I relied, and sometimes still do, in distance and self-protection. Introspective reflection says that the walls surrounding my heart needs to stumble and fall, because it's almost time to be willing to answer love's call. Living in loneliness has reverted to sheer futility. I'm beginning to feel the golds of my vulnerability, pushing and forcing love to emerge and become a possibility. But I have to get over my pride and embrace humility. I'm ready to open my heart and let people in, so the story containing the rhythmic words can begin, ending the wounds of my heartbroken pollution. I'm ready. I want to let love reign and be the solution.
I've known Mark forever, since he was like a teenager, and seen so many different evolutions in him. And he's such a proud black brother Cap, well, Pisces, but he just gets it. And I've seen him do many awesome things, from the travel to the fashion to the love that he expresses. So please give him a hand.
Good evening, good evening.
Hi, Mark.
Hey, what's up, guys? I got a few things on my chest and on my heart with all of my poems that I plan to say tonight. I only plan to say about 2 to 3. They're not really long poems, so I guess I'll start the first poem with a love poem. I'm gonna start that one because that's one that I've had since I was like a little boy. I wrote this poem when I was about 14 years old. And when I wrote this poem, I was like, what did a 14-year-old boy know about love? But I kind of felt like it was a medium. Something came through me and made me write this poem. So the first poem that I'm gonna say is called You. You're crazy, simply out of your mind. And I love you just because. You're here right now, not what you've been. You're never what you was. You're weird and different, unique and special. You're everything in between. You changed my gray to blue, my gold to silver, my sandy brown to forest green. Your looks may be average, not like my style and cup of tea. Yet you showed me things I never knew that I beheld in me. You're too cool to be calm, too fly to be whack. Too real to look forward, and too smart to look back. You speak with the knowledge of Dr. King, so true. And if I didn't know better, I'd say that you were as deep as Maya Angelou. No one around me can pursue me to think that you're not heaven sent. You can turn a sinner to a savior, even make the devil repent.
Wow.
So they're not to think that this is a plea to confront that I'm digging you. It's just the proof in the pudding, words in the book, and simply the truth in you. And you spoke about that dark skin earlier. I have a poem quite the same. This next one is called Street Princess. Because we love our melanated street princesses. Come on! Here it goes. Hair of wool, eyes of coal, and skin like the midnight. That's what I see when I look in her eyes. She walks the streets like it is her kingdom, and sits on her stoop like it is her throne. The same girl that used to be called Blackie and thought that she was ugly because of her color. She cried oceans and sailed to Africa. She wiped away her tears and uncovered Egypt and saw herself and everyone around her. The village people took her to her mother Nefertiti, and she wrapped her arms around her and squeezed her back to life. And she awoken in her project home and was mesmerized by her image in the mirror, and never again thought that she was anything less than a queen. Thank you. And the last poem is called You're Living in the Matrix. I've been writing this poem, this poem has been haunting me, and I've been saying this, I just keep on repeating, you're living in the Matrix. And I was like, I'm gonna just try this poem out. So this is something brand new, but it's called You're Living in the Matrix. You're living in the Matrix, but this doesn't star Keanu Reeves and Lawrence Fishburne. You won't get 5 stars on Rotten Tomatoes. You're living in the Matrix. You're living in the Matrix. You're living in the Matrix. You're living in the Matrix, but they won't be able to upload, share, and give away. You're living in the Matrix. You're living in the Matrix. You're living in the Matrix. You're living in the matrix, but you don't see all the things that's going on around you. You're hidden in a cave. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. You're living in the matrix because I can't touch you anymore. I can't get through to you. I'm shaking you awake and I just don't understand it. You're living in the matrix. You're living in the matrix. You're living in the matrix. You're living in the matrix, but this doesn't start, but you won't be wearing a long coat and shiny glasses. You're living in the matrix, but you won't be able to get here in 3.5 seconds. You're living in the matrix, but you won't do a 360 turn and spin around. But I'll be here. Because when you wake up out of that matrix, I'll be standing right here. Thank you, guys.
I'll be calling on when we do this again. As you keep, I gotta get your information. And the rest of you guys, I mean, I didn't even expect this tonight. Wow, just blown away by the divine and exquisite and magnificent talent of just sharing you. You know, we live in a world where expression has almost been muted. You know, the pandemic has made many of us even more silent. God forbid I reach out and say hello if somebody's staring at me in passing. You know, God forbid I say, good morning, how are you? Right? God forbid if I ask the person that I'm sitting next to in church, is everything all right? Are you good? Do you need anything? Well, how about this? I see you. And I love you. Right? We have all these opportunities to be great outside of getting the masters and outside of getting the PhD and outside of the marriage and outside of bearing the children. Right? We have so many opportunities just to be a bridge to someone. I know that doesn't get a whole lot of shine. Maybe the applause of, oh, how awesome. You're a bridge. But it matters.
It does. It does.
It saves lives.
Yes, it does.
Right?
Amen.
So I'm just going to encourage you to tap into that place that you may have been muted over time, because it happens over time. It happens once we come out the womb, right? Because my gifts were not fostered at home, but God kept the Holy Ghost in my ear saying, "You have something to share with the world.
You have something.
Don't stop. Don't quit." Somebody here said, "Well, Asher, keep going."
Keep going.
So
Worth
I
the
just
fight.
encourage you tonight that don't be afraid of that place. Embrace it and cherish it. And last but certainly not least, another member is coming up to bless us with her expression. Her name is Kelly. She goes by Sassy. So I don't know what version you're getting, but I'm glad that she came to bless us tonight. Give her a round of applause.
Go, non-friend.
My wife said to me, "You doing that right?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not. This is not my thing. Now, if you want me to pray for you, I can pray for you. But this is not my thing." But the Spirit began to deal with me because I'll be 50 in July.
Yes.
I have decided, as you said, and that several other people said, I'm ready to let my light shine.
Yes. Sunshine.
That's what brother. Yeah. And letting my sun shine, sometimes you have to let people know where you come from.
Yes.
To know where you're going to and
Yes.
what God is taking you to.
Amen.
Come on. So I've experienced some things, went through some things, still dealing with some things, but as Pastor said, I realize I'm coming out of some things.
Right.
So this is what I'm going to read. I wrote several years ago, even before I met my wife. So let's just get pull out that book. And it's called "Why Is Being Alone So Bad?" Why is being alone so bad? Why is it frightening? Why is it so intolerable? When you are alone, what do you see in yourself that makes it so unbearable? Do you realize that you can never fully be with anyone until you're okay with being with yourself? If you're never alone, you will miss out on so many very sweet things. When you're alone with yourself, you become sensitive and familiar with your own voice, your touch, your own sense of just being. You appreciate the quiet times with yourself and with God. You realize the special things you can do with just yourself. You realize who God is to you and who you are to God. You realize the importance of that quiet time with Him. Being alone is a chance to examine your thoughts and your feelings, those feelings that you would not feel with being with someone else. It really is okay to desire to sleep next to someone, a warm body at night. It's perfectly fine to want someone to talk to or share things with, or even to share those looks at each other from across the table or across the room, to hold hands and to cuddle. Shoot, I want that my damn self. That's just real being real. That's my human nature. However, it's detrimental to indulge human nature sometimes, to avoid being alone. Stop looking for someone to fulfill your time.
Listen.
And to fulfill it with yourself.
Yeah.
I have learned over time that when you have not gotten to know yourself and spend time with yourself, when you do go looking, it won't work out.
Sure, every
You spend
time.
all your time and effort on the other person that you forget about you. I can guarantee you, I will be in the same situation and always find myself or even yourself hurt, crying, and asking myself why again. And I'm here to tell you why. Because you didn't spend time getting to know yourself to just be with yourself. And where is God in the mix? So stop crying, wondering, worrying when the next person is coming into your life. The more you take focus off of waiting and turn that focus onto you, you will see a big difference. And from me to you, stop getting on Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat telling all your business. Stop whining about how you're waiting on your mate, how you need to find somebody or want somebody. People see that and will use that to their advantage.
Listen.
Especially those that prey on people who seem to be needy. And putting things like that on social media does make you look needy. Believe there are a lot of people out here who are like that. So be careful. When you get to know yourself, you become more confident and you will learn there will be things you will and won't settle for. Allow God to show up for you. Because when God shows up, nothing can compete. I wish nothing but healthy, happy relationships for all of you. I talk about what I know and have experienced. A touch is
Just a sprinkle.
So awesome. Yes.
A dab
And
of
I'm
do
moved. I mean, I think that wraps it up unless there's somebody that's itching to come on up. Still have time. Anybody? All right. We're going to have more opportunities, God willing, of course, right? And I know how scary it can be sometimes in the moment. If something's like bubbling on the inside, to just get up here and just say, you know what, no. Just give me like 1 minute, just give me 2 minutes, give me 3 minutes. and just bless the room. But I want to thank everybody for coming out, for the support. I was so moved by everybody because oftentimes as an artist or as a writer or whatever it is that you do, it's not easy, first of all, to get up here and bare your soul. But I find that in my journey, as many times as I have done it, I also enjoy sitting in the audience and listening to other people. You know, it's not about me because I know there's so many various expressions out here in the world that help shape me also. And I believe that God moves in mysterious ways, and you never know what word can come for you, wrapped in a beautiful gift to a person that has the courage to get up here and expose. So I want to thank everybody for coming out and supporting. This is like our first run of this. You know, our church is great. Okay? You know, we're not perfect. We're far from perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect church. That's right. But I will say that there are so many gifts in our fellowship. So many gifted people. Like just so many. And I just hope that as we continue to grow, that people find their love for God again, because we're in a world now where I don't know how people go through life without Him. That's just my thing. And maybe church isn't for you, right? Maybe a church building is not for you, but I just encourage you to find that love and be led, because when God leads you, He will never lead you wrong or steer you wrong in your course. So again, thank you all for coming out. I don't know if Pastor has any words. David? No? Again, I want to thank everybody for coming out to support this event. My name is King Alexander Barker. I am a writer. I am a poet. I am published. And I'm thankful, most of all. Because you know, all the titles that you can gain in this world means nothing if you're not doing it with love anyway. Right? And it can't compare to what God has for me on the other side either. Nope. So this is just part of my service. Being a poet is part of how I serve the world. Right? This will be left behind when I leave here for somebody else to pick up and do whatever they wish with. So we're just vessels, and I just encourage you all to embrace the vessel that you are and open up a little bit more from this day going forward. Thank you.